Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new, welcome if you're not new. So today I wanted to give you an updated foundation routine, glowy yet realistic, because my foundation routine is never the same if I do it twice. And I just wanted to bring you guys an updated routine because the weather's getting warmer outside and everything. So yeah, grab some popcorn or grab your brushes and products if you want to follow along. But without further ado, let's get right into this video.
So let's get right into it. We are doing our face today. This is the main focus today, and I'm using my e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer to prime my face. This gives me a smooth yet a barrier in between the products that I will be putting on my face and my skin. If you are doing this, make sure your skin is nicely prepped with sunscreen, moisturizer, especially if you have dry skin like me. Always prep your skin because that will give for a smoother base. Okay. So now I'm going in with my brows. This is my ABH brow definer and brow gel, both in ebony. And I make sure to spoolie out my brows before I get started because sometimes you just gotta organize them a little bit. And then I start in with the tail and work my way up to the front of my brows. So once I'm at the head of my brow, I make sure to spoolie out the front so it's looking crisp. And then I go in with my brow gel and just make sure the head of my brows just stays flat as I am doing, regular schmegular activities throughout the day. So I make sure that my brows are clean and crisp underneath, so I clean it up with some concealer. It's just my Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer in the shade Mahogany. And I just take my Morphe buffer brush and just blend it out. Just make sure that, there's a nice transition. It's not like too sharp or anything. So, yeah. So next I take my black opal foundation stick in the shade Nutmeg. And this is my found all over face color. And this is literally like my skin in a stick, and it looks kind of light and it looked kind of orange in person, but it actually worked out so well. And I like using that little contour brush by Real Techniques to blend everything out because it's just dense enough to blend it out, but it doesn't sometimes when I use like a bigger brush, it kind of dries out my face. But I make sure it's damp because that works better when I'm trying to blend out stick foundation. So yeah, just blending her out, and she blends out like a dream. So yeah. So now I'm using my Wet n Wild liquid highlighter. I forget the shade that it's in, and I should have done this underneath my foundation, but I just remembered to do it, so I just did it above. This is a nice liquid highlighter, very pigmented, so a little definitely goes a long way. But yeah, I usually put it on the back of my hand, blend it out with my foundation brush by Real Techniques, and then apply it to my face and just make sure it's nicely blended out. There are no streaks because this dries down so fast, so I have to make sure that it's not streaky, it's not leaving any mark or anything. So I kind of just put it on my cheekbones, underneath my brow bone, and on the middle of my lids, so it kind of just gives me a nice glow, and just everywhere else that I want to highlight in that moment. So now it's time to contour, and I'm using my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Dark Cocoa, and I showed it backwards, obviously, wow. And this gives me a nice contour. I don't really want a intense contour. This isn't like a purely glam look. This is just, an everyday foundation routine when I want to do something, different other than my easy, quick routine. So I make sure that I have a damp sponge, and I'm also going to highlight using the Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer in the shade Mahogany. So I should have highlighted first before I contoured, but it's okay. And this is like the first layer of concealer. I follow Jackie Aina's concealer routine, where you kind of put a correcting one on first and then build it up, as you will see later on. So now I'm just blending out my contour with my Real Technique sponge, and as you can see, this blends out like a dream. When your skin is properly prepped, like, all the products will just blend out properly, and they'll just blend out like a dream, and just like everything will just like melt in together, and it's just an amazing result that you get. So after I'm done with blending out my contour, I blend out my upper lip because that mustache needs to go away, you feel me? And then I start blending out my under eye. So I make sure that it's blended out properly because I get under eye creasage a lot, and I just have to go all up in there, even in my inner corner, and just make sure everything is blended out nicely. I take that up on my lid because usually when I'm doing this, I don't wear eyeshadow. I don't wear eyeshadow all the time if I'm going to school or anything. So yeah, and I feel that I get the most coverage when it has dried down a little bit. So yeah, that's basically it. So now I'm taking my ColourPop No Filter concealer in the shade Dark 48. And I kind of realized that this would be a nice correcting concealer instead of Mahogany, the Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer. I was like, wow, this is actually orange, like an orange corrector. But and it dried down darker than the swatch is, so it was kind of misleading, but it all worked out in the end. So I just put that underneath my eyes, my nose, my forehead, my chin. I try and make that dry down a little bit. I was trying to figure out what to do instead of just immediately blending it out, but I just resorted to dancing instead and kind of fixing my hair. So there she goes. Wow, my hair really needs a good wash, but that's besides the point. Now it's time to blend. As I said before, I blend out my under eye last because I want more coverage down there under my eyes. And yeah, so just taking that damp Real Technique sponge, and I am focusing that from the inner corner of my eye kind of all the way out, but not too dragged out. I'm taking the Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer in the shade Golden, and I am telling you guys here that it's really light and it's not my shade at all. It's not my highlight shade. And I just put a little dot on the inner corner to just give the illusion that those underneath eye tufts that I have are, you know, going away. And I kind of just highlight the pinpoint on my chin just to give a nice 3D illusion, kind of, I guess. I don't do it on my forehead, I don't do it on my nose, only the very inner corner of my eye and my chin. And before I blend that out, I kind of just take my sponge and make sure that my foundation is blended nicely down to my neck and everything is just smooth and melting in together properly. And then I will go ahead and start off with my chin. As I said before, I like my concealer under my eye to dry it down a little bit. So I'm saying watch. So I take like the little tiniest corner of the beauty blender and kind of pounce the concealer immediately under my eye. So I don't drag it down, I don't blend it out with the rest of the concealer. I kind of just pounce it in on the highest point underneath my eye. So it's not like just a regular concealer application. This is like the top concealer application, if that makes any sense. If that makes absolutely any sense. And again, I take it up into my eyelid just to blend everything out. This wasn't a day for eyeshadow, so I just blended that out. So yeah, that's basically my concealer application. Here's my airspun powder, and I have a little note for you guys right now.
So I'm using my airspun powder that I got from Walmart, but it was mixed in with some of my Sasha Buttercup powder. So yeah, I just want to let you guys know of that. So back to the voiceover. So now I'm taking my Real Technique sponge, and that's meant for under my eye and stuff. So I'm going to blend out any creasage that I got in those 2 minutes under my eye. And then I will take my other, I'm trying to open the container and it kind of overflowed, so oh well, let me just work with it. I take some of the powder on my other sponge, and then I just pounce that underneath my eye. It looks light. It looks light, I'll admit that, but don't worry, it will be all blended out soon. I take that onto my lid because that needs to be set as well. And then I take some more and I make sure that I blow off the excess because we're not really baking today. Not today, no. So I forgot to blend with the other sponge to blend out those eye creases, but I'm going to set everything underneath my eye. And as you can see, it is light, but it will be fixed, and it doesn't actually look too light, like blank white light, so I'm happy about that. And I'm just going to melt everything out. As you see, I kind of just take my other sponge and flip it on the other side where there's no concealer and kind of just blend that out, and you can see how it just kind of melts into the skin, and it's just so flawless, so smooth. Literally kind of looks airbrushed, and I'm really happy with how that turned out. At first I didn't think it was gonna work, but it worked, and I'm so happy about it. And then I go around my mouth. I set my smile lines because that's a difficult area for me, and I set my upper lip because that tends to separate sometimes, and my chin. I don't do the reverse contouring thing. I will need a good powder for that, but I just set my smile lines, my under eyes, and you will see me also set my forehead, just a little bit. I don't use that much to set my forehead, and yep, there you go. I don't use that much product. I don't like baking because my skin don't agree with it. And I just make sure everything is blended out nicely. Everything is just melting together, and honestly, I was really digging it at this point. Really digging it. So I just took a little bit from my Black Radiance contour palette thing, and from the contour shade, I literally took the smallest amount to blend out on my face, because I just wanted to deepen that contour a little bit, but not too much that it doesn't look natural, because this isn't glam, this is natural. So I just literally patted some of the color on the hollows of my cheeks and just called it a day. So that is my Black Radiance powder in hot chocolate, I guess, and I'm taking my nice fluffy brush to bronze out that color. I forgot the color of the bronzer, and I'm sorry you guys, I think it came off when I was taking off the label, which is weird because that shouldn't be like that, but I am pretty sure the shade is called hot chocolate. So I'm just bronzing up my face, but taking it down to where I had foundation as well. And now I'm taking my full spectrum pressed powder in the shade, I think it's Deep Cool 2. I'm taking my fluffy yet kind of dense brush, and I'm putting that underneath where I contoured and bronzed on my chin. And
under my eyes as well, just to kind of bring, you know, the color back, not make it as light as it was. It wasn't too light, it was workable, but I just wanted it to look more natural. So yeah. So remember that liquid highlighter we put on? I'm going to set it basically with my e.l.f. highlighter, baked highlighter in the shade Apricot Glow, and it's a nice gold peach duochrome highlighter, and I really like it. I kind of had to scrape off the top layer, but it works now, I guess. And it shows up so pretty on melanin skin. It's just a nice peachy gold. But yeah, I use my dense Eco Tools stubby brush to highlight because it is the best brush to highlight. I've never tried out a fan brush, but I'm not too sure if I even want to try it. But I just highlight the high points of my face, my forehead. I've started highlighting my forehead, but I usually don't do it that much. Using my Black Radiance Big Blush in the shade Toasted Almond. And I'm not sure about this blush. I don't really like it because I have to keep on scraping product off in order to get color. But I think I got a little bit here. I don't know. So now I'm just setting my face with the Milani Make It Last setting spray. I cover my eyelids because those are the first to go because I have very oily eyelids. But then I take my sponge and just pounce everything in. Just make sure that everything is nicely melted together. Did you feel me? So yeah, this has turned out so nicely, and honestly I was surprised. I surprised myself, to be honest. I thought it was the setting underneath the eye was gonna come out a hot mess, but I'm really enjoying this.
So guys, this is the final look. Highlight on point. A lot of my acne scars are not even present right now. I use some mascara because if this is my realistic foundation routine, I don't wear lashes. I don't wear lashes on a day-to-day basis. Trying to change that, but I don't really. So I just use my Essence Get Big Lashes mascara. Y'all know the deal. Then on my lips, I just used some Carmex and use my Ruby Kisses Hydrating Lip Oil Treatment Gloss that I got from the beauty supply store before all of this quarantine stuff went down. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and click that notification bell to get updated when I upload. So yeah, this is the updated foundation routine. Really glowy. It's matte, but it doesn't feel tight and dry, and that is the key. That is the key technique. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye guys.